Welcome back, everybody, to the Center Bench Podcast for episode 3. Today, we are recapping the last week and a bit in sports. It has been the most depressing week in sports history of all time. Starting off with, we fired Mike Sullivan, which sucks. The Lakers did not win in 5. The Sens
No.
did not win in 7. It was just an awful week.
You lost your money.
I was gonna say, Clay, how did you feel about losing
I
your
did lose some money.
Bucks?
However, I was smart enough to cash out one of the bets
Okay.
when it was
Ooh.
22-2 in game 6.
What was the
So I
cash?
only ended up losing. I lost $1 in all.
Oh, that's not
Okay.
bad.
$1. Okay, so I'll pass it on to Trent, and we'll talk basketball first.
All right. Well, you mentioned the Lakers, so we'll start there. Did you guys end up watching Game 5 of that series or no?
I watched some of it.
I watched a little bit. Rudy,
Yep. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Rui Hachimura is a great third option or fourth option, whatever you want to call him on that team, but he's not a center. I think he's like 6'8". Excuse me. Like they need a guy who could come in, just box out Rudy Gobert, because Rudy Gobert I think he had 27 and 24 rebounds or something like that, and a
Something
majority of them were
ridiculous,
offensive rebounds. It's just
The Lakers need a center.
Yeah, the Lakers need a center. There's
And
a
you know
reason
what's-
why that sound trended on TikTok for 3 years.
And the craziest part is they had a center and then they traded him away. But
To be fair, what they got in return,
I was.
they probably take that any day of the week.
Do you guys
I
think
mean, Doncic has kind of been a defensive liability. He's been really bad on defense.
He's been a defensive liability since he came into the league.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. He had a couple years where he was mediocre, where he at least tried, but it doesn't even look like he tries on defense anymore.
I think he was also dealing with a little bit of injuries, in that, off that he drove to the basket, and it was DiVincenzo and Gobert, and I think Gobert kind of caught him in an awkward way, kind of messed up his back. Obviously, I'm a big Luka guy, so I'm going to defend him. But yeah, I think that game really proved that they needed a center. Game 5 between Milwaukee and Indiana, that was a thriller. Gary Trent started the game 0 for 7. And then I think he hit 8 threes in the fourth quarter in overtime, and 3 straight possessions. But then he had 2 turnovers, so he was the reason why they were up, and then he was part of the reason why they blew that 7-point lead in overtime too.
I'm looking at the stats for that game. Giannis had 30, 20, and 13 in a loss.
Yeah. Do you guys think he's gone?
No, I think he'll stay.
You think he stays?
Really?
He's such a stay-at-home kind of guy. I don't know. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy to want out.
I mean, they are the ones who took a chance on him.
For sure. I honestly I don't know. I think he probably re-ups a 2-year deal, and then kind of sees how they do from there. But I don't know. I could imagine him on I don't
The
know.
Raptors.
But there you go. I would love that. Or I'm trying to think of what would be another team or on the Sixers.
The Rockets. I've seen a little bit of
Sixers do
talk
need a
about him on the
center.
Rockets.
The Sixers do need a center.
Yeah. What'd you say, Brady? You said you've seen
Rockets. Yeah, the Rockets. Imagine Eamon Thompson and
I don't think he'd be a good fit on the Rockets, though.
No?
I feel like he can slot in anywhere. I don't think they do need shooting, but I mean Van Vliet is solid enough when he needs to be.
Yeah.
How long is he on his contract? A couple years still, eh?
I think they have Van Vliet is on he's on some sort of option. I think it's a team option, 44 mil. Somebody can look that up for me. And then I think Jalen Green didn't play the greatest in this series. He's still fairly young. I think he was class of 21. But
he is they have a team choice in next year, and then he's a UFA the year after that.
Okay. All right. So it's 2 years from now. I was watching. It was Game 6, and I got a little nostalgic of Fred VanVleet. It got kicked out to him at the top, and he shot. It reminded me of when they played Golden State in the finals. It was I think it was tied 101 in the fourth quarter. He hit a big three over Quinn Cook, and I tweeted out like it just reminded me a lot of that moment. So kind of missed that, but um
On a side note, Jalen Green to me is a young Chris Middleton. One game, he is a fucking liability. The another
Yeah.
game, he is 1996 Michael Jordan. He drops 48 points. Like there's no in between. He's either Michael Jordan or Brian Scalabrine. There's no in between.
Hey, don't diss Brian
I was gonna
Scalabrine
say,
here.
don't go after Scalabrine, the white mamba. Come on
He's
now.
better than all of us. Let's be honest
Yeah.
here.
He's
Yeah.
famous quote, he's closer to LeBron than we are to him. But
Well, yeah.
um
But Jalen Green is so inconsistent.
I don't know. Did anybody watch the Celtics Knicks game last night? Did anybody see that at all or
The
no?
Celtics
I
fucking
saw
blew it.
Hart airball one about 5 feet short of the basket.
That was
I
so
thought that was
bad.
Cat. Was that not Cat?
He was trying to pass it, but it was Cat,
Cat
right? Cat
third.
just didn't even pay attention to it.
That was
Yeah.
the worst looking thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
That was
It looked like he got kind of caught between wanting to shoot it and then when Cat looked at they probably made eye contact. Shout out McKilbert. He had that grown ass man move, like just ripped it out of Jaylen Brown's hands. Like that was a good ass.
give me that shit kind of move.
Gosh, that type of guy would be great on a team like the Sixers. Like if they ever had him.
Yeah. If only they drafted a guy like that. Like God.
If only they drafted a guy
If
like
only
that.
they drafted a guy like that. If only his mom worked for the friggin' team. Oh my God.
Wasn't there? Oh, yeah, Miles Bridges. Anyways, what other series were there?
There was the Thunder and the Grizzlies.
Thunder and yep, belt to ass.
Well, that was just nothing.
That was an obliteration. The Thunder are what the Grizzlies were supposed to be. Poor John Morant has too many issues to ever reach Shea status.
I still don't understand why they fired their coach. Like, I guess if you wanted to fire him at the end of the year and then he went on a playoff run, but even still, like Dwayne Casey went on a couple of runs with the Raptors and they still fired him after he won Coach of the Year. Houston and Golden State. Golden State almost blew another 3-1 lead. Then Buddy Hield decided he was going to turn into prime Klay Thompson. I think I saw he had like 0 points or something or he didn't have a lot in game 6 and then had 33, hit 9 threes in game 7. Did anybody see the quote? It was like he said to Dylan Brooks, he's like, I sent you home once before because he did it to him in March Madness in like 2016. He's like, I'm gonna do it again. Anybody see that or no?
No, I didn't see that.
No. That's
But
funny.
in game 6, Buddy Hield did have 0 points in 17
Okay,
minutes.
I thought so, yeah. And then he told Jimmy Butler that he was Alfred because he has Butler in his name or something.
Game 7, he had 33 points. What a difference.
Not bad. I don't know what it is. Like, it happened to Steph in game 6 of the 2019 second round. He had 0 points in the first half and then scored 32 in the second half. And then he did the same thing on Sunday. He had, I think he was 1 for 6 from 3. And in the first half had 3 points and he finished with 22. I think he had like 14 in the fourth quarter. So
yeah.
Crazy that he's like, I think he's 36 now, 37, and he's still performing. Like, obviously, he wasn't their number one scorer in that game, but he's still like, I don't know, he's getting up there in age and he's still playing well, still scoring over 20. What else?
Cavs in the Heat.
Cavs in the Heat, belt to ass again.
You see the stats? The Heat, I think they had the worst offensive rating of any playoff team ever.
Really?
They were so bad.
Do you guys think that they should get rid of the play-in?
Oh,
No?
basketball is my favorite playoff format out of every sport.
Yeah.
I
love the play-in. I think hockey should adopt a play-in, honestly.
Kind of like the MLB where they have like the wild card type thing.
I just think it should be the same format as basketball. There's no reason they can't do it.
Michael, what do you think?
Same amount of teams, same amount of games.
I think that would make the Canucks the playoff team every year, so that's great.
Yeah, but like I've heard like other people say it's like it gives like owners an excuse to be like, oh, we made the play in, so we're fine. Like, I don't know. Like,
It
It's
may
like
give
the
them an
Canucks this
excuse,
year
but
in the sense that they say, "Oh yeah, we were 2 points out of a playoff spot. We're gonna be in there next year."
yeah,
I mean, 2 years ago and last year we did that, but the 8 years prior to that, we were just missing, and they made that an excuse, and then we just kept missing for another 6 years.
yeah,
Now we
being
get to shit on the
perpetually mid,
Canucks.
being perpetually mid doesn't help anyone.
no. Oh, Knicks Pistons. That was a hell of a finish. Jalen Brunson.
That's good.
He got a double bang out of Mike Breen on the MSG network call. That was pretty sick.
Did see
Um,
that.
every time I just see a big shot, I always think of the meme where it's like Mike Breen and the text on like his forehead was like, "I'm about to say bang so motherfucking loud." It's just the first thing I think of every time I see a big shot. I don't know. I think that's all I got. Yeah.
We could talk about Aaron Gordon yesterday.
Aaron. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
What a
Aaron,
shot.
Second game-winning shot he's made this playoffs.
yeah.
Can we talk
He's
about how
trying to get
Nikola
West Ham right.
Jokic he's the MVP?
I
He
don't
was
think
just
so.
better than Shea in that game. He was just better.
One game,
To be fair, it is a regular
one
season.
game.
It's a regular
Somebody-
season award, but they're playing each other, and Jokic is straight up just better.
Somebody
now.
I saw compared it to like the Bills and the Ravens, where it's like whoever wins the series is probably going to win MVP. Which I think the votes have already been like turned in, but
Yeah.
so it won't change much now. But yeah, I don't know. Do we want to switch over to the Leafs now? Leafs and Panthers.
I think
Well, we got
should,
Leafs and Sens to talk about as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
Yeah, we
Leafs
do.
ends. Yeah.
Do we have to talk about that, or can we just skip it?
Oh, we do have to talk about that. Don't worry, we do.
I thought it. I mentioned this in the group chat. Wasn't it originally Leafs at 4? And then-
Well, they
and
don't
then
ask
after
how. They don't ask how. They ask. What's the saying? I forget.
They don't ask
Don't
how
ask
they
how
ask how
they-
many.
How
Yeah,
many?
and we won the series.
How many?
So
That's not-
Yep. But I thought it was it was Leafs at 4, and then it was Leafs at 5, and then Leafs.
and then it was
at
Leafs in 6. Yeah,
Wait,
but it
they
stopped
won the
there. It
series
stopped
though.
there.
They won the
They
series.
did. So you got to give them credit there. Were you guys though just a little bit worried, like when it
I
got to
It
game
had to be.
6?
Once we lost game 5, I started to get a little nervous.
That was a
Yeah.
bad game.
That's fair. 'cause
That was a
one
really
big
because we looked
problem.
really, really bad.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
But I think Berube is the difference maker this year, quite honestly. I think the culture he's bringing to the team is completely different from every other year. And the big four are playing well. Like, they're putting up points.
Yeah.
Nylander is playing very, very well. right
Nylander, 2 goals and an assist last night.
now. 4 goals in his last 2 games.
hmm
How do you
Okay.
feel about the third period of last night?
I didn't watch
Yeah.
it.
I feel like a lot of it was due to Stolars not being in it. I think we got a little bit
Okay.
jittery after that, and I think that when you see your goalie go down, especially like a head contact injury, it rattles you a little, right?
Yeah.
But
You see
I
Yak
think we
on the
recovered
I
bench?
think
fine.
it just
Yeah.
fire you
Fucking
up.
yacked him on the bench afterwards.
Can we all just agree, even the ones of us who aren't Leaf fans, that Bennett's a dirty player?
Oh, most definitely.
Like
Most
that was
definitely.
very, very clearly
That's
an
a
elbow to the head.
unanimous decision.
Like, you guys are diehard Leafs haters, and you can understand that guy's
yeah.
a dirty rat, right? Like, he's
Definitely.
making
I mean-
Marchand look good.
I would say I
Yeah.
cheered
And they're on
for
the
Brad
same
Marchand
team
for
now.
a couple years, so I don't know. But
And paired with, you see Kachuk try and slew foot Marner 2 seconds left in the game.
I didn't see that.
no.
Yeah,
No, I
he
didn't.
chased him around, tried to slew foot him in the last second of the game, and then gave him cross check.
Sweet.
It's crazy.
When I first saw the elbow to the head, it didn't look intentional. Then I watched it a second time in like because I saw it on TikTok. It was like in slow motion. Then I saved the video, put it in slow motion just to really enhance it. But yeah, no, it definitely looked like he was. There was a little bit of a chicken wing there.
When you watch it from top down, you can see the puck's behind him, so there's no
Yeah.
reason he should be moving his arms, really. You can see
Yeah.
him stick out his elbow. Like, it's pretty
Yeah.
clear. And he's not getting any kind of discipline for it
Nothing.
at all.
No,
Which
no
is
suspension. What
Not
was
even a
the
fine.
reasoning?
Not even a fine.
Really,
What was the
Nothing.
reasoning behind that?
They just deemed it as not intentional.
Which is
Oh
absurd.
wow.
Yeah, non-intentional.
Yeah. They deemed
Well,
it
I will say,
incidental
though-
contact. He was in the crease and it's incidental contact.
Yeah.
Did
His
anybody else
elbow just
see? I've seen
incidentally
all
smacked
over.
him.
I've seen all over Twitter lately that they're saying that the initial concussion came from a shot he took to the mask.
Oh, he
I don't
got
know
I
if anybody
did.
else
wired
has
off the
seen that,
dome
but
in the first
He
period.
got wired off the side of the head. But the thing is, that isn't probably what did it. Because when you like understand that the puck's mass and an elbow's mass are so much different, the force from that puck hitting his helmet and just knocking off his helmet, like it blew up a strap, right? The
Yeah.
force of that puck hitting his helmet, he has that every game. Like you can watch the last 7 games that he's played, right? Like
The
all of
helmet's made you see that.
every single Ottawa game, he took a shot off the head.
Always get
But
nailed in the head all the time.
like yeah, it's just something that happens, and the
Yeah.
helmets are there to stop that, but they aren't there to stop you getting elbowed in the side of the head. That's the difference. It's when your
Yeah.
head is not expecting it and it hits it from the side and then goes that way, right?
Turns out
Can
they
we talk
don't make
about-
them Sam Bennett proof.
Can we talk about how goalies used to not want to wear helmets? Like how stupid that is. Like
It's like people who don't want to wear
Yes.
seatbelts.
Yes.
yeah.
No,
How long is he out for?
It's even worse than that.
Yeah, it's worse than that. He's not even confirmed out for next game, but
Oh.
He is
he's
not.
most
He-
likely
Not
going
leaving
to
that.
be not playing because Wall honestly played fine. The goals that he did let in, like a couple of them looked soft at first, but like 2 of them were tipped off our own guys, and the other one was just a bad defensive play. So I don't like one of the goals was definitely his fault, but I don't see it being like a big enough issue that he shouldn't play. And that's the one good part about the Leafs this year. We have a good backup. Every other year we've made it to the playoffs, we haven't.
I think they should have
Let's
put in
take,
Dennis Hildeby. Get Dennis Hildeby in the game.
Monster
Where's David
himself.
Ayers when you need him?
That's exactly what I said. I was wondering who was going to be on the bench.
Are you so
Who's
you guys
gonna
are
win
singing
and
the
how
Joseph
many
Wall
games?
song then? Cole and Brady?
What
What?
did you say, Trent?
I said you're singing Joseph Wall now, like the Joseph Wall songs at a Wonder Wall.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much. I think he can get us through the series, honestly. If he plays like he did in the regular season, because he won 27 games. Like it's not like he didn't play in the regular season. He was our starter for like 3/4 of the season.
I don't think any goalie can get you through this series.
You
Panthers
don't
in 6.
really
Panthers in 6.
put money on it then.
Oh,
You know-
he's
You should know
You
he's
know
a
he
starter.
will.
Do not have any.
at the
money right
fucking
now.
house again.
As soon as I get money, Panthers in 6.
As soon as
But
get money.
As soon as he
Leafs have
gets
a
money.
couple things to worry about here.
That's a gambler if I've ever heard one. As soon as I get money, I'm putting
Hmm.
it all on the line.
That's what every gambling
First
addict
of all-
said at least once in their life.
Listen, 99% of gamblers quit right before they win big.
Yeah, that was the picture I put in the TikTok
Exactly.
clip last week.
Exactly. So, Leaf fans have a couple things to worry about here. A is the third period, which we already discussed. That was awful. And B is Sergei Bobrovsky was not Sergei Bobrovsky in game 1.
I mean, I think that Sergey
was
has a
not.
weakness. I pointed this out
ran
the
a
last
juke
I
off
point
the
no, I
play.
pointed this out the last time we played him. I think he has a massive weakness and it's short side. Like if you watch the goals, 3 of our goals were scored short side. And they weren't like necessarily great goals. They were just short side and he doesn't handle it very well.
I will single out, I think it was the Chris Tanev goal that kind of just bounced over his pad.
Yeah.
That one.
And the
to me, was
Nylander goal,
very
he
solid.
may have not seen it, but
That
it
was
was just
not
along the ice. It like the first Nylander goal, the one that was like a minute into the game, it was just along the ice. Like it wasn't a horrendous save that like or a spectacular save that he would have had to make. But I
just
think
think
that
if
he's just
he
a little
is-
weak.
No, I think he had an off game, and I think if he is Sergei Bobrovsky the rest of the series, the Leafs don't have a chance.
The only thing that scares me about Bobrovsky is that he does this thing where he can steal games really easily. He's very, very good about being the entire reason his team wins, which makes me kind of nervous, but I like the energy the Leafs have had. We look like a different team this playoffs. We look like we actually care.
Okay, I know I joked about it in the Capitals Canadian series about Like I tweeted at him like if you need a backup goalie for game 4, but I have an idea. If the Leafs see this, I'm fucked. But I go to Toronto, try out. I go in net for let's say somehow Joseph Wall gets hurt game 3. I go in or get game 2, sorry. Go in game 3. I sell the game. Like I just like shoot the puck into my own net and then I help Florida win. Clay, if you want, I will do that and I will win you your bet.
Is this insider trading?
Nope,
I
not
think
at all. Don't
I
even
think
worry
this
about it.
is that's got to be illegal, right?
No,
Something's
no.
not
It
right.
is.
Dante Porter
No.
did it. No, he's banned from the league.
Well,
Never mind. It
that's
might be
fixing a
insider
game,
trading.
though. That's fixing a game.
Yeah.
Just don't look too
That'd be
far
like
into
the
it.
calling strikes that aren't strikes.
Just don't
Yeah.
make it too obvious.
That's never
I mean,
happened
Angel
before.
Hernandez did that for like 15 years. No one cared.
And he gets promoted for it.
I would say, is he retired, right?
Yeah.
I got a question for Cole and Brady here. Does Florida coming back scare you guys at all? Like the Leafs reared their ugly head, or whatever the saying is.
I
didn't.
think
Sorry.
that not having confidence in the team isn't going to help.
Yeah.
So I'm just having blind confidence because I say it every year. This is our year, right? So I might as
Yep.
well. You guys have called me delusion. Yeah, you call me delusional all you want for the last however many years. So I might as well stay in the delusion, right? It's not going to change anything.
Did you say that for the Raptors, Brady, every year?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've been saying that about I said that about the Raptors until they won the chip.
There you go.
These fans have been saying it since '67. I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add before we move on from the Leafs is they score significantly less goals with Joseph Wall in net, which does slightly scare me because they become this weird defensive team that they're not usually known for, with the core four all being like scoring forwards. So that's just something I wanted to throw out there.
It was a very weird shift of pace once Wall came in. It's almost as if we were trying to protect him instead of just trusting him. How you play good hockey is you trust your goalie. If you have trust that your goalie is going to make the stop, then you can just play proper defense, right?
Mhm.
And you can be just as aggressive. But we cut all of our aggressiveness right when Wall came in, and that is probably why we looked a little shaky. I think we've probably got to fix that, but if we can get that under control, I think we're golden.
Just
All
trust
right,
your
boys.
goalie and don't have Connor Hellebuck behind you.
Hey,
Well,
he played
playoff
well
Connor
in the second
Hellebuck.
half of that game, though. Kept him in it. All right,
In
boys.
Yeah, after
overtime.
letting in like 3 goals.
I gotta dip out, but I love you, boys. For everybody listening, love you guys too.
Love you too.
Yeah. See ya, boys. Have a good one.
See you, Trent.
Bye bye,
See ya.
Trent. Okay, so Clay, do you want to talk about some Penguins news?
Okay, Penguins news. There is some news this time. Yeah, no, the last month or so has been pretty boring. But the bad news is that it's all bad news. So I was watching the draft lottery, and it was pretty depressing because at one point we did have an 18% chance of getting pick number 1, which is like tied for the largest, and then we didn't, so that fucking sucked. And then so we moved down one spot to 11th. So we'll probably get a shitter who will go on our 4th line in 10 years. Um, and then Kyle Dubas is still our GM too, so
That's
he's probably
rough.
gonna pick a fry cook, and he'll never see NHL ice time. So the other thing we did is we fired Mike Sullivan, who was the best coach in the NHL, and I'm not really sure why. I read an article that said it was kind of mutual, which like I kind of get because the team's going through a rebuild. Like if he wants to win, I get it. I get it. If he wants to win, he's going to go to a team that can win. But it sounded like it was a little bit more Kyle Dubas who fired him. So that sucks. And he goes to the Rangers, who, mark my words, will make a deep playoff run next year. Now that they have Mike Sullivan. And my prediction for the Pittsburgh Penguins next year is that they have a franchise record-setting horrendous year. I think fall hard for Gavin McKenna already right now, starting today. And like I think there's 82 games in an NHL season. I would be surprised if we win more than 30 of them.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
I
would
wouldn't be surprised
I would be
either.
very surprised if we win more than 30.
It'll be
I
like
would
the
predict like a 25 win season.
be like the
Maybe
04
20.
Penguins when they were trying to tank to get Ovi, and then they got Crosby out of it. They won 23 games.
Yeah, it'll be that level. It'll be sad. It'll be depressing. I'm probably not gonna watch. It's just gonna be awful. I mean, the only thing that'll be interesting is Crosby does pull some shit out of his ass every once in a while, but it's not gonna be enough to get us more than 25 wins.
I have a
How many more
question
years do
for
you
you.
think Crosby plays?
How many years are on his contract?
That's a good question.
I don't even remember.
I have
I think
no idea what his
2
contract
more
is.
years.
He has 2 more years on it.
2 more years. So I would love it if we could tank next year. So that would be one more. Then we pick first overall. I'd love it if he gave us 3 more.
We
Do you
could.
think
Really
he's going
hope
to
he
come back
does.
for just like a league minimum after 26, 27? Because that's his last contract year.
Yeah. So he'll be 40 next year, then 41. I think he can do it when he's 42.
No, he'll
And then
be
after that,
39 and he'll be
He's
39
born
when
in
his contract
87.
ends. Yeah, in
Oh,
26, 27 he'll be 39. He's
he's
37.
only 37 now. Okay. So
He
maybe he's
turns
got more than
38
that.
this year.
I think he's got 3 or 4 years. I think he's got 3 or
Really?
4 years.
I think he's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's got those 2. I don't know if he's got many more after that.
I'd really
More
love
than
to
a
see him
third.
teach some new young prospects how to play hockey in the next few years.
Well,
You
he
wanted a
taught Jake
mentor?
Gensel pretty good.
Yeah.
What happened to that
exactly. We traded him.
guy? For nothing.
Did we get like a second round pick out of that? I forget.
I
Yeah,
forget
what is
it was.
that?
I will look at.
So, out of the main 3 in Pittsburgh, that being Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, who goes first? Either trade, retirement, or just gone.
So Malkin is the oldest of the 3. I think. Unless Letang is older.
I
know
think
he's older.
Malkin's the oldest.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. So I think he goes first. Yeah, I think that only makes sense. And he's the kind of player who is big and physical, and
Letang
as
and
he
Malkin
gets
the same
older, I
age.
think he can keep that up.
I'm looking at the Jake Gensel trade. It's rough.
What did we get for him?
They traded into the Hurricanes. It was Jake Gensel
Right.
and Ty Smith for Michael Bunting, Vasily
Yeah.
Ponomarev, Vili Koivunen,
Right.
and Cruz Lucius.
Bruce
And there was-
Lucius.
Not Chaz Lucius, Cruz Lucius, the shitty
Yeah,
one.
Are
We
they
didn't even
related?
get any
Yeah,
draft
they're
picks out
brothers.
of that.
No, and then they got a conditional first and a conditional fifth.
Okay.
Which they didn't get the
Okay.
fifth, and the first became a second. So they got a second round
Okay.
pick.
And
They got Michael
but when we
Bunting and a
traded
second,
him-
basically.
Michael Bunting, Leafs
When we
legend.
traded him, he only had 1 year left on his contract. So it
Yeah, pretty sure.
didn't really matter because he wasn't going to sign in Pittsburgh again, I don't think.
What is it with Pittsburgh getting all the Leaf scraps?
It's because it's
You guys got
Kessel.
you guys got
Hey, Phil
Dubas,
Kessel
you guys
was-
got Bunting, you guys got Kessel.
They had no Achari for a bit.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup.
They had Kapanen.
Now the
I
Oilers
say
just
we
take all the
favorite
Leaf.
scraps.
The Oilers get the scraps too. They got Campbell.
And Hyman.
I say we hire Phil Kessel as our coach.
He'd be a horrible coach. He'd make them all eat hot dogs.
Yeah,
just
you
make him,
eat hot dogs.
make him like the dietitian for the team. That man played 1,000 straight games, all right? Cookies
He
and hot
knows
dogs.
he knows
is how you
more
do
about
it.
diet than anyone else.
Fucking
Doing
cookies and
something
hot
right.
dogs.
Yep.
Goddamn cookie monster.
Yeah, so I think that's all for Penguins news. It is depressing.
On to the draft lottery, I guess. This year it was live, so
That was
guess we know
bullshit.
it's not rigged. But the Islanders got the first overall pick. They jumped up 10 spots. How do we feel about that?
Who even likes
like
the
it.
Islanders?
I
Like,
don't like
what
it.
a fucking irrelevant team.
I don't think I've
I
ever
think
met
they're
an
gonna.
Islanders fan.
Bullshit franchise.
I think they're gonna ruin Matthew Schaefer like they ruined John Tavares. You guys know
Just,
how good John Tavares was in the OHL.
Yeah.
He had Crosby numbers. He was so
Like
fucking good.
he's got some World Juniors records, man.
And then this dude went to the Islanders and they gave him fucking Kyle Okposo for 12 years and he just became an 80-point player. Like
And Matthew
they're gonna do the
Barzal,
same
too.
thing.
They
They're
ruined
gonna do the
him
same
as
thing to
well.
Matthew Schaefer.
Well,
They're just
Matthew
gonna ruin
Barzal's
him
been
with
hurt for a bit.
mid-ass players.
we'll see. We'll see if it turns out that way. They were fringe playoff team this year, so
Wait, do they still have Lou Lamoriello? Or
No, they
did
just
fire him?
fired him recently.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy.
I don't know that I would describe them as a fringe playoff team this year.
they
pretty
were
bad.
they weren't that bad.
They
What was
almost
their
made it.
what was their yeah, what was their final record?
I'm looking.
They were sixth in the Metro.
They were 9 points back in Montreal for the last
Uh-huh.
wild card.
Okay.
They were 2 points ahead of the Penguins.
Yeah,
That means
so
they're
I need
really
the,
bad.
Do you describe the Penguins as
They
a fringe
also,
playoff team?
by the way, had a 14 better goal differential than the Penguins.
They also had less goals for than the Penguins.
Hear me out. What if we actually drafted a good goalie in the draft?
Not in the
I
first
don't know if
round,
there
you
is
won't.
one in this draft.
Jack
I don't know if
Ivankov,
there is one.
Joshua Ravensberg. There's some good ones.
And
Silence.
Jose also gets another top 3 pick. They get number 2.
Blackhawks
They're getting
get
Michael
number 3.
Miso or some shit.
Yeah.
All for them to still be a repetitively garbage team.
What, the Sharks?
Yeah.
I don't know about
Who's
that.
their goalie right now?
Yaroslav Askarov.
Georgiev.
And Alexander Gorbiev.
Okay, Georgiev is irrelevant. Fuck that guy.
Askarov
But
is
Yaroslav
irrelevant.
Askarov is on the team.
He's irrelevant.
At one point he was the best goalie prospect in hockey.
Okay,
He's
but he's
good.
been up and down. He got traded from Nashville because he wouldn't have a spot to San Jose where he would, and then kept getting called up and then called back down. Called up and then called back down the whole season.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I think.
I
Consistency
don't
is
know.
key.
I don't know if the Sharks will be consistently bad team.
I think they're going to be good in a few years. Just because the amount of
Yeah.
talent, like if they draft Michael Misa, the amount of offensive power they have is crazy. Just score
Offense.
6 goals a game.
Okay, but what if they're letting in 7?
They just need a halfway decent goalie. They'll just be the 2022 Avalanche. They scored like 7 goals a game. It was crazy.
And then had
The Avalanche also have always had defensive pieces, though.
They didn't have that
What
much
are the
that year. They
what's
weren't
the
that-
Sharks' top defensive line right now?
Mario
They have Sam
Ferraro and
Dickinson.
somebody.
he's in the
Sam
OHL
Dickinson.
though.
Yeah, but I'm saying prospect wise, obviously they're dog shit now, but in like 4 years,
Yeah.
they're gonna
Exactly.
be good.
Do the Sharks still have
Yeah.
Mario Ferraro on their team right now?
Oh yeah, the legend.
The Sharks' top defensive pairing is Timothy Liljegren and Henry Thrun in the last game of the
Don't
season.
disrespect
Notable
Henry
Leaf.
Thrun like that, all right?
Timothy Liljegren, I don't know why we ever got rid of him. I love him. He's still my favorite Leafs
He'd be in
defenseman,
the
like, the last 5
AHL
years.
right now.
No,
He would not. He would
I
not be
love
on our
Liljegren.
team. He would not be on our team.
Yes, he would.
Take out of
100% he
line?
would.
Who would he take out of Leaf 6?
That's a good question. I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. But I love Liljegren. I watched him get drafted, and I watched him play on the team, and then he left, and it made me upset. It's the same thing with Kapanen. Kapanen was never more than a second line guy, but I still love him.
How do I feel about
The
Brock
Sharks
Lesnar? I'm
have
actually
Shakir Mukhamadullin. Don't disrespect that man. Mukhamadullin. What a name. Don't disrespect that man.
Utah also jumped up to 4. They jumped up 10 spots.
They did.
Yeah. Bullshit. Fuck you. Nobody likes
They've been the Canucks. Up to
Fuck is
5.
that name?
The
Hockey
Canucks
Club.
just have
Wait,
another
are they
weird
Are
pick.
are they keeping the name Hockey Club?
No, it
It's
was
the
leaked
Mammoth
on
that got
yeah,
leaked.
it was leaked on their YouTube page that it's the
Okay,
Utah Mammoth.
that's decent. That's
Their logo's
decent.
pretty decent too.
A little bit more respect.
What does that come into play next year or the year after?
Next year, I'd assume.
I'm pretty sure they're revealing the logo officially at the draft in their jerseys.
Oh,
The players they draft. Just like the
I
Ducks and
see.
the Kings did last year.
No, those got leaked before though too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Well,
they
yeah.
also
Right.
got
Everything
leaked.
gets leaked.
Speaking of the Kings, let's talk about the rest of the playoff series.
God,
That got
that was
wrapped up.
bad.
The Kings can't beat the Oilers in the playoffs. How many times? It's been like 8 times they played each other, and the Oilers have won every single one or something. It's
4 in
bad.
a row.
Anyone
Yeah,
who took the
it's
Oilers
bad.
over the, or anyone who took the Kings over the Oilers is a complete idiot.
Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are just the best players in the world.
And they're on the
Draisaitl and
same
Connor
team.
McDavid.
The Kings just didn't make any adjustments. They just were the same thing the whole series, and the Oilers just figured them out, and they didn't change. It was pretty bad.
With Calvin Pickard in net too.
Calvin Pickard's way better than Stuart Skinner.
As of now, yeah.
Connor,
There's
how do you
still
feel
not-
about the Habs losing to the Caps?
Well, I don't feel
Predictable.
terrible about it. To be fair, we were the last team to make the playoffs. We were the youngest team in the playoffs, and we were playing this first seed in the East. Like, there's not a whole lot of hope there
Next year
to
is your
begin with.
year.
I don't know about
Next
next
year
year,
is
but like, give us
The
like a
Habs are going to be
year or
scary in a
two.
couple years.
Give us like
Next year.
2 years, and might be a decent hockey team.
If you had Brian Carey Price out of retirement, you would have won the Stanley Cup this year. Just
Well,
saying.
that was another thing was the goalie situation.
Yes.
Logan Thompson got hit by a truck and still played, and Sam Montembeault just fucking disappeared.
Sam
Yeah, we
Montembeault
got
sucks.
Jakub Dobish in the second half of the series.
I like him more than Montembeault personally.
It was like his 18th or something game ever. It was his first NHL playoff game. It's kind of rough.
Thrown
Well,
into the
but-
fire.
Just toss him the friggin' Ovi immediately.
The Wild and the Knights. How do we
Right,
think
that
about
was-
that one?
I don't
And
think
Marc-Andre
anybody's
Fleury retired.
I
Kirill
I
Kaprizov's
thought
really
Vegas
fucking
was
good
going
at
to
hockey.
run away from that series.
I thought it was
closer
going
than I thought.
7.
I'm kind of surprised that it didn't. Yeah. Especially after like the first game or two, it looked like it was going to be a very good series, but it kind of fell off a cliff there.
I was thinking Vegas in 4 or 5.
I always thought Vegas was going to win, but I thought
Yeah.
the Wild would put up a bigger fight.
I thought the Wild could have won it. I wasn't betting on them winning it, but I thought they could have.
Yeah.
Like to start the season, they were one of the best teams in the league when they were healthy, and then everybody fucking got injured. Like everybody. So they were kind of shit for a while. But to be honest, I don't think any of us give a flying fuck about either of those teams.
Not really.
Oh.
I don't
Well,
think any of us give a
Marc-Andre
shit.
Fleury retired. Flowers finally gone. He's out of the
Yes,
league. He's coming
yeah.
back to play for Canada and IHF, but no more
Yeah.
NHL.
I
I
feel
don't
like
think
it's
any of us
just
give
to
a
be on a
shit
team with
about this.
Crosby for one last time before he's officially
One last
retired.
go, yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Penguins should just convince him to come out of retirement and sign him next year. Just for shits and
He'll
gigs.
be like the goalie coach for
Just
Pittsburgh in like
Just
5
so he
years.
can go like 6-42 because the whole team around him is going to be ass.
Yeah. But with Marc-Andre Fleury in net, the games would at least be interesting. He would be terrible. Like, he would let in so many goals.
Or he'd be
But-
awful.
It would still be fun to watch.
He's just getting too old. He can't anymore.
He turns 41 in November.
That's rough.
As a goalie
Alright,
too, that's crazy.
Jets and Blues.
That was a crazy.
That
series.
was quite the performance by
It's crazy.
Hellebuck, really trying to
Yeah.
piss away that series a couple times.
And
I don't
you guys
know how he
watched
can be so
Game
good in the
7?
regular season. Yeah.
The third period was a fucking movie. That was crazy.
1 point whatever
1.6.
seconds left. Yeah.
1.6.
1.6 was crazy.
And then to go on and lose in double overtime too.
Cole
It's-
Perfetti deserves a statue outside the arena in Winnipeg right now.
It's just for them to lose in 5 to Dallas.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
I think Dallas is gonna fucking
They'll
curb
be 4.
something.
I think they will
No.
too.
Winnipeg had way too tough of a time against a wild
I'm
card
telling
too.
you,
Blues.
Dallas is winning the cup.
Well,
Dallas
it's
is just
also
better
Jordan
everywhere.
Binnington. Jordan Binnington does random things in the playoffs sometimes.
Jordan Binnington does random
Yeah,
things.
but
all the
Connor
time.
Hellebuyck was struggling against a top line of Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, and Pavel Buchnevich, who combined to not be as good as fucking Mikko Rantanen. Or
He's gonna
like
absolutely
Rope
tear him
Hintz
apart.
or Jason Robertson. All of those guys, or Wyatt Johnston. Like, these are way better offensive players.
I mean,
He's gonna get
you can look at it in a bubble, but also the Leafs players are objectively some of the best in the league, and what the fuck do we do every year? So
Yeah,
that's the one golden thing about playoffs. There's no guarantees.
but Mikko
Yes.
Rantanen is notoriously one of the best playoff performers like ever, stats wise.
That's true.
And
Shifley was
in
hurt too.
the end of that series, he had 2 games where he had a 4-point period. Game 6, the second period, he had 4 points, and then Game 7, he had a hat trick in the third period. Connor Hellebuyck is gonna get fried like an egg.
I don't know how he can turn into
It's gonna be
like
bad.
he's just so bad in the playoffs. I don't know how.
He's terrible.
He plays like a Vezina caliber goalie all year and then does nothing in the playoffs.
He's lucky the Vez is for the regular season, or else he
Yeah.
would not have anything.
He'd be poverty.
Yeah, Hurricanes, Devils. Anyone have any comments on that one?
No
The
surprise.
Devils
Again,
were just
I don't
hurt. It would have been a
I don't
good
think
series.
Anybody gives
Yeah.
a shit about either team.
Good series.
It would have been a
if he was
good
out.
series if they were healthy, but it was so one-sided because the Devils were just injured to shit. Like,
Too many injuries.
They just
Yeah.
had nobody.
And there was the Lightning losing to Florida.
Yes, that
No
was
surprise
not even
again.
close.
The downfall of
note-
the Lightning.
You know how fucked my bracket is? My cup final was Avalanche Lightning. You know how fucked
Oh,
my
no.
bracket is? It's so bad.
Both
I
got
even
bounced in
looked
the
at mine.
first. That's
Terrible.
rough.
I have a perfect bracket right now.
I haven't even looked
You
at
picked
mine
the
yet.
Leafs to win?
I did. I actually picked the Leafs in 6 in my pool, and I am in first place by a long shot to $500. So that's pretty cool.
Who do you have the Leafs playing in the second?
Who did I have?
Well, like who do you have winning in the second between the Leafs?
Oh, I have
and...
Panthers in 6.
Guys,
Yes.
You're
I
already on the lost track.
Panthers and 6.
I have a
know-
perfect bracket
I-
right now, guys, but I have Winnipeg winning it, so it will not be coming
I'm also
true.
in the same boat.
My bracket's so unbelievably fucked. It's so bad.
I
Like,
picked,
what happened
I
to
picked
that big
the Avs,
Lightning
so-
game and about how Andre Vasilevsky is going to be the savior of the Lightning? All of that just.
Well, everybody on the team got fucking injured. Braden Hagel, I thought he was, or Brandon Hagel, I thought he was going to be good. He played like 50 minutes total the whole series. Between getting hurt and getting suspended, like the dude was just awful.
He was invisible.
He was very visible. He was very visible, just in
He
all
was
the wrong ways.
he was invisible in the sense of good things.
He was visible in the press box.
Clay's got a friend.
Rocco,
check my
What
bracket.
next?
we can move on to baseball.
Actually, I want to just do one side note about the Canucks.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Just, I need to get my word in, just
Yep.
once.
Yep.
Oh, we get shit on the Canucks now.
Are that happens every episode, but I have a little bit of positivity, not crazy positivity, but I mean the Canucks are drafting 15th overall. Woo! Like every year, we are projected to get a Myra native Brady Martin though, which would be quite interesting.
He's good.
Brady
He's
Martin's
really
a
good.
top 15 pick.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really good.
I
If you guys saw him at the U18s, he's insane.
It's not.
He's so good.
Another side note is there is a Swede that has declared for the draft named Liam Pettersson, and I bet you the Canucks will draft him in the 7th round. I think that would be amazing.
God. Oh
The
God.
Pedersen square. They need to go out on a penalty kill line.
That'd be sick. That's 3 defense, 1 forward, or actually depends what this Liam Pettersson.
defenseman as well.
Also, it would be 3
Of course
defensemen,
he is.
1 forward.
Half our defensive group would be Pettersson.
That'd be nuts.
Other than that,
If you just start collecting Petterssons, maybe you can put together a gauntlet of Petterssons one day, and you can win a
hey,
cup
we're
with
already
it.
halfway there.
Yeah, if they
Um,
ever win the Stanley Cup somehow, it'll just be Pettersson, 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 Pettersson. All the time.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure what management's doing right now. They fired Rick Tocchet, or not fired. They let him go. I think I'm not totally sure what the thought is there, but Tocchet's play style or coaching style is dump and chisel. I don't know if anybody's watched Canuck games. They dump and chisel every play. I'm not even
That's
kidding.
the way to play. That's my favorite play.
Coach
It
Hockey
works
would be
sometimes.
disappointed if
They
he
need
heard you
to score a
dissing the
goal.
dump and chisel.
The dump and chisel is great to be used maybe half the time. I like 92, 93% of the time is dump and chisel, and the only line it works with the Canucks group is the Garland Joshua Bluger line, which is our grind line. But you don't see Elias Pettersson going to dump and chisel. It doesn't work.
He's not going to go in and hit somebody in the corner.
Exactly. It
That's
just
the
doesn't
whole
work.
thing you have to do. You have to go in and deck somebody to get the puck. He's not going to do that.
The Leafs are a very good example of when dump and chase works, because on every single one of our lines, we throw a guy in who's 6'3" and can hit. Like, that's the only reason our dump and chase works, because we have like Nyes, who just runs into a corner and then smokes someone and gets us the puck. That's why it's effective. But
Yeah.
when you're the Canucks and you don't have physicality on your side and you're more of a skill oriented team, it just doesn't work as well.
Exactly.
What
So,
skill? Don't have any skill.
Well,
We
skill
should have
oriented
skill.
in the sense that they aren't size oriented, right?
Well, he's 6'2", 176. He's not the most go into the corner and hit somebody kind of guy.
I weigh as
Sorry,
much
but
as
Elias
that.
Pettersson's not going to deck anybody.
I mean, you never know. You've seen Marner throw a couple hits. He's like
I'm pretty
5'7".
sure Marty's not that short.
No, he's 5'10", but same difference.
I'm pretty sure he's also like way heavier than Elias Pettersson.
I think he's 190.
He's 2 inches shorter and he is 5 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
I think it is
So
a
he's
tie.
not
I'll just face
for-
facts,
Lanky.
Michael. Next
Sorry?
year, you'll be the same. You'll miss the playoffs by 10 points. You'll draft 15th overall, and you'll be shit again the next year after.
Stuck in no man's land.
It will either be that or they completely clean house. I don't know what's happening. They have so many unknowns at this point in time.
Just trade Quinn Hughes.
They could. Yeah, if they.
I can't see a world where that works out. I can't.
Ton.
I feel like moving
I mean,
a franchise
actually,
player
they
is
should
never a good
hire.
idea.
They should hire Nico Harrison as their GM, and they will trade Quinn Hughes for like Ryan McDonough and a second. Boom, it'll work. The team will just suck. You'll be in no man. You won't be in no man's land anymore. You'll be down with the Sharks.
No, trade
That
Quinn
was-
Hughes to the Devils for Jonas Siegenthaler and a second.
Go get Mark-Edward Vlasic from the Sharks for Quinn Hughes. That dude's got a lot of life left. All right, he's only like 47.
He's been in the league forever, it feels like.
He's so fucking old. He's only 38.
38's old, man. You're acting like 38
Yeah,
isn't the
for a
upper
hockey player,
end of
that-
age in hockey.
I thought he was older than that, though. You know, the long Mark-Edward Vlasic's been playing. He's been
I
playing
mean, you
since
play,
2006.
yeah, you playing for as long as we've been alive.
Yeah.
I mean, one other thing, you know what I realized the other day? We've never seen the NBA without Braun.
Oh, I saw
I've never seen the
a
NHL
meme
without
somewhere.
Obi.
They should
Yeah,
restart time
it's-
after LeBron retires and make it AB after Braun. We should do that.
I've got a fun question for everyone. What city do you think deserves an expansion team?
Can I go first?
Sure, Clay.
Okay, so it's London, Ontario, without a doubt. Okay, and here's why. I think I've mentioned it before. I don't know if I've mentioned it on here before. But the London Knights get so much love and support from that city that I think there's a big enough market that they could do it in London.
They would almost assuredly steal fans from the Leafs. Like every fan south of
Yes.
Hamilton is going to
Yes,
start cheering
but-
for the London team.
The Leafs have enough fans that they can steal from.
Mhm.
Like,
The Leafs have an
they're
incredibly massive
they're
market.
probably the biggest market in.
I think
Put it
in
in
hockey,
perspective.
yeah.
It's
A
either
team
them
like
or the Rangers.
Winnipeg, a team like Winnipeg is barely able to support a team in Winnipeg because they're by far the smallest city at 800,000 people. London has half of that for people.
But you also have to remember the surrounding
Okay,
area.
but-
Like Southern Ontario
Yes.
is just so jam-packed with people.
It is.
Like half
Yeah,
of Canada's
they're
population
all
lives in the
Leaf
bottom
fans,
half of
Sens
Ontario.
fans, not really Buffalo fans, but Montreal fans. Like they already have teams.
But imagine if you could go see a game in London for half the price
can.
of a Leafs game.
I can
I
for
would
30
become a
bucks. It's the
London-
London Knights.
For half the price of a Leafs an NHL game.
30
Half the
bucks.
price of a
That
Leafs
is
Glass
game.
basically an
Yeah, but
NHL
what if
team.
there's an NHL team?
2 beers worth of money for the front fucking row.
All right, Connor, what's your suggestion for expansion team then?
Houston.
Oh, I was gonna say
We
that.
already
Shit.
I want
Houston.
to
or Texas teams.
We need more garbage can banging, all right? We need another Houston team. They have 2.5 million people. Texas has 3 NBA teams that do great. I think we could have a second NHL team.
The only thing is
Yeah, but that's
how
NBA.
yeah,
Do they
how
even know what a
popular
hockey
is
market
hockey?
down there?
I
They
mean,
even know
to be
what a
fair,
hockey-
like Shaq and Charles Barkley are getting into hockey.
They even hang
All
out
right,
in
Chuck
London.
doesn't know shit about hockey, all right?
Have they
Now there's
seen
PK
ice
Subban,
before?
and he actually plays hockey. Has everybody
I-
seen PK Subban's bracket?
I haven't.
No.
You should look it up. It is so bad. There's a little bit of a homer in taking like the Devils through. I think he took the Devils to the Cup, and then he also had, I don't even know. Anyway, this was his actual submission on ESPN. It's so bad.
Well,
That's all I've
just
seen.
Oh
news.
my god.
Oh my god.
He
What was
got
he smoking?
2 right. He got the Golden Knights and the Jets. Every other one was wrong.
He has
Oh my-
he has Montreal beating the Caps.
He has the
And
Devils
he has
in
the
the
Kings
conference
winning.
finals.
He has the Kings beating the Oilers.
He has the Devils in the conference final.
This must have been
He was
pre-injury.
picking
right?
buys. He was picking
No.
buys.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
Yeah,
if he,
this
if
was
Nashville,
pre-injury because Washington is the 3rd seed in this.
What is that bracket?
Yeah, that's atrocious one way or
It's
another.
terrible.
if Nashville was in the western half, it'd be Nashville versus the Devils in the finals.
Also, if he was picking bias, why did he pick the Devils over the Habs? What does that mean?
Enjoyed his
does that
time
mean?
more.
He played for the Devils later.
He won a Norris on Montreal. You think he could pick us?
Get shit on.
You know who actually needs an expansion team?
What?
Saskatoon.
What the heck?
God.
We need
You might
a
as well-
Saskatchewan hockey team.
No,
Hold on.
We can
There's
call
no
them the
movie.
Wheatheads. We can
Hold
call
on.
them the Wheatheads, and they sit in their little wheat fields and they play hockey.
Hold on. You're worried
They're
about
gonna have
Winnipeg
300,000
being
people.
barely able to support an NHL
Connor's
team?
worried about Winnipeg not supporting an NHL team.
You want Saskatoon.
I want Saskatoon.
Okay, but your argument for London was the surrounding area. The surrounding area of Saskatoon is nothing.
Is
There's
Would you
nothing
prefer it to be
here.
in Regina? Would you prefer it to be in Regina?
There's even more nothing. That's more north. It could be the
Okay,
north.
okay,
There's
okay,
nothing.
okay. Hear me out. Halifax.
That would be
That's-
cool.
I wouldn't hate
Better,
it,
but
but
like-
it's
That's
still
a
not
good
gonna
idea,
happen.
isn't it?
Still not a lot of people.
No, but you get the entire East Coast.
There's
Yes.
still not
That
a
are
lot of
currently
people. There's
Habs
not that many
fans.
people in the East Coast.
I think there's too
They
many
won't be
diehard
Habs fans
out
anymore.
there.
No way. Maybe in New Brunswick, but I think they could gain traction. Do you think the Nordiques could ever come back?
That's where I was going, actually. I was thinking they should bring the Nordiques back to Quebec City.
They have the population.
They're all
They're
Habs
waiting
fans.
for it.
Mhm.
There are people that live in Quebec City that will not cheer for the Habs just out of pure spite and pick any other bum-ass team.
Fair enough.
Or Portland needs a team. I don't know why Portland doesn't have a team, honestly.
They have a WHL team.
We need-
That's about it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why they don't have an NHL team.
Portland
They
Winterhawks.
they definitely have the market. They support an NBA team.
A shitty NBA team.
It's shitty, but it's still an NBA team.
Fair enough.
My last pick is to send an NHL team to Vancouver because they need one bad.
They do not need a clown show. They need an NHL team.
I think
That's
that just
pretty
about
funny.
wraps it up for hockey. On to some baseball. The Jays have sucked.
Still.
Suck
Nothing
They have
changed.
lost what 11 or 12 out of their last 14 or some shit. They've been really, really bad. They can't hit. Our pitching has been shaky at best. I think that we just need to
Those
find a way to
results-
turn it around.
They're currently winning.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, but they're against the
They have
Angels,
scored
though.
2 runs in
Oh.
the first inning.
Yeah, against the Angels.
2 whole runs. That's insane for them.
Who hit them?
It was Vladdy and
Springer.
Springer.
Not bad.
Those are our only 2 hits
Who's
to the
pitching
game.
for the Angels?
The guy on my fantasy team.
Tyler Anderson.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if it was Kikuchi yet or not, because apparently he's pitching this series.
The Jays have Jose Arena.
He started?
Yep.
Oh, God.
That's crazy. That's
Not going to
crazy.
win that game.
It's either that or a bullpen day, but we had an off day yesterday, so I doubt that.
So, no, this will be a bullpen day then. Urena's more of a relief
That's-
pitcher.
Yeah, I don't understand why we need a bullpen day, right? Oh, wait, yeah, it's because we're running 4 pitchers.
Yeah, because Scherzer just went on the 60-day IL.
Yeah.
And Easton Lucas, everyone figured out he kind of sucks.
Here's one question. Do you think Manoah will ever be able to make a comeback? There's talks that he might make it back up soon.
I'll let Clay answer this one
Right.
first.
I don't know. If there's any type of guy that can do it, I think it's him. He's just
Really?
seems like a guy that he's got that spirit that he really wants to do it. So I think he might just do it.
Do you think he has the conditioning to? Because I think that was his main problem, right? Like that pitch clock came in, and I think he just didn't have the stamina.
Maybe. Could be it.
I bet you
think
that
that's
injury
part
didn't
of it. I
help.
also think in his first year, he was just cruising, and then, all players got scouting, and they knew what he was throwing, and they knew what he was doing, and then
They
got
figured him
used to
out.
it. Yeah, I think if he can reinvent himself, I definitely think he can do it. I think he can come back.
I'd love to see him
He's
come
never
back.
gonna be. He's never gonna be a Cy Young candidate again.
Yeah, but
He could
that
be a
was
fringe
kind of
star.
out of left field anyways. The Jays always seem to have that guy who has a 1-year Cy Young candidacy and then falls off a cliff.
Pretty much.
I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to baseball. Since when are the Rockies 6-28?
They're
Rockies
so
suck.
bad. They're
Holy
so bad.
Really
shit.
bad.
They're 6-28.
Yeah.
They're
You
just a
You know
franchise.
what other team sucks this year that I was expecting to be first or second in the division is the
Baltimore?
Orioles. Yeah.
The Orioles.
How are they so bad?
Terrible. Gunnar Henderson, I think, has been pretty bad. Like, at least the fantasy's been terrible.
It's like last year they were like the future of the league. Like they had all these amazing young players, and they progress a year and go back 4 slots in the standings. Like it's crazy.
They should be a lot better than what they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's got to say something about the team, though. Like maybe it's just inexperience, but we'll see if they can find a way to turn it around. Because right now it's looking pretty ugly.
And I am happy about that. I could not be more excited about that. Fuck the Orioles.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Orioles either, but I'd rather them be better and the Yankees be worse,
That too, or the Red Sox.
or the Red Sox, or the Rays. I hate everyone in our division.
It's usually how it
so
works.
hard.
It's not even the best division. I'm looking. The NL West is fucking stacked.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Giants are 22-14, and they're third in the division.
The AL East for the last like couple years has been an incredibly dominant division, but this year
Yes.
a lot of the teams just suck.
It's weaker. Yeah. Yeah,
Like, especially, I think it's mainly with the Orioles and the Jays. Because everyone knew the Rays weren't going to be great just because of their age. Like, they were just kind of aging out of being good. But the Orioles and the Jays were supposed to be contenders. And right now, the Jays aren't playing like contenders, and the Orioles definitely aren't playing like contenders.
yeah. The Orioles were supposed to be potentially a World Series team.
Hmm.
The Orioles are currently losing 9-1 to the Twins.
And the Twins aren't even that good this year.
Twins are bad too, yeah.
We're losing 9-1.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
There's nothing to say that that division won't come back like next year, though, because all of a sudden the Orioles could be good again next year, and the Jays could sign somebody and be good again. The Yankees will be good again because they'll throw out millions of dollars
Millions,
and
billions.
then billions, and then the Rays they will all of a sudden have prospects that came up from absolutely nowhere and be the best pitchers in the MLB.
Maybe
So
once they stop playing in New York's spring training facility, they'll get a little better.
I think of
yeah,
any like sports team I could think of, the Rays are most likely to pull something out of their ass. They do it so often.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Like they have never
absolutely.
have anybody good, yet all of a sudden they're a good team. They just pull it out of their ass. It's
Our
crazy.
Yeah,
prospects are always so good for no reason at all.
yeah, yeah. Like they are just insane at developing prospects for some reason. Crazy. That wraps everything up for this episode. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.